You're gonna have to ask the chat because we lost.
Oh, did you want me to be over there by the chat to help?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sherry.
Thank you.
Patricia's with me too. Melissa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I think we have about 4 sites representing and then a few students joining individually too.
We're good to go? Can you hear? Vanessa, where should we put everybody? I'm okay up here, right? Yes, you're okay. Where do you want Gavin or Patricia?
He's fine.
They're
Gavin's
probably
gonna be here.
That's back here. Okay, let me see. Try to click it. Yes, try to click it.
Okay,
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I know you're on mute, but say hello. I need to know you're out there. We're going to be focusing just on the screen itself. I am Dr. Sherry Tennyson, and I've been here with you before, and that was way back in September. And we were talking about building sustainability and adaptability. Welcome. I am here from Napa Valley College. I'm beaming in. I am not yet on any award stage, but I'm going to use this today. You're okay over there, Gavin? Whatever. Good afternoon. Let's get going. Too far. This is very sensitive. So I want to do welcome and introductions. Today is the purpose of the workshop definitions. Kind of do a review. Okay, that's super important. If I keep going and we don't talk about how has it been in your first semester here, that's really important that we cover some of that. And I hope the students that are in their home schools know that we'd love to hear from you too, okay? We're going to talk about sustainability, adaptability, and now I'm adding one more word, resiliency. And then we're going to talk about comments and takeaways. So good afternoon. So this is a chance for you all to check in. So in the room with me, how many of you can share what it's been like since you started classes in September? First semester, what's it been like? You share, but I don't think we need to.
I knew it. It's definitely kind of like a wave. I'm happy to semester coming over and out, but I got some advice from friends and family. They will pull it back together by the semester.
Okay. Anyone else want to share what it was like for their first semester here? Were the classes really harder than you thought? No, I've got a lot of head shaking. No, Melissa. What are you seeing? Are students saying yes, that the classes were not that hard? She's still
To
good.
enter your response in the chat, and I'm happy to share with Sherry if you feel more comfortable doing it.
Yeah, could you share what the students are saying? What's it been like for the first 4 months for them? How's it been? How are the classes?
Can you please?
How have they changed in terms of their study habits? How have they changed in making decisions about their career paths? How have they changed? Can you share that? I only have this big old screen of the agenda to listen. Any comments? How have you changed?
I changed my major 3 times last semester.
What are you majoring now?
So it was pre-health science, then it was anthropology, and now it's biochemical engineering.
What else? What if, have you changed your study habits? Have you changed your study habits? Last
Yes.
semester, yes, go ahead, Melissa.
A student at Laney College shared that they have better sleeping habits now.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thank you for sharing that. How about you guys? I'm in my classroom here. We've got about 15 kids, Patricia. Students, have you guys changed your sleeping habits? Better sleeping habits? They're just shaking their heads.
How many students do we have altogether?
Hmm?
How many students do we have altogether now at this time? Even on Zoom, if you ask them.
So, Melissa, what's our numbers looking like on site at the other schools? Can you tell? I'll count out.
I believe we have about 50 or so students that are enrolled in MSP building blocks this cohort. But on the screen, I'm not quite sure. There may be about 20 or close to 20 students in the meeting.
Okay, we got 12 here. Okay, so going back to what you said about the other school, how did your sleep habits change? You said you sleep better, you sleep longer, you sleep safer? What's going on? Why do you think there's that change?
She's or he's gonna answer soon.
I
I have like a stricter bedtime.
He has a stricter bedtime.
Stop studying after like a certain time.
Stop studying after a certain time,
So I can wake up early.
so he can wake up earlier.
Okay. So you put more time in your studies and you're taking care of yourself, right? Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned? You changed classes. What have you learned in the last 4 months? How many of you found new friends out here? Yay, some of you. I guess that the other friends are helping you with your classes and getting to know each other. So some of you have changed your sleeping habits. You wake up earlier. Some of you have met new friends, all of that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on. So today's workshop, what's the purpose? Again, we're going to talk about sustainability. And I use the word strength on this one. It talks about inner qualities. We had talked about this in September. The skills you can rely on when things get tough. And then adaptability. It's the ability to adjust your approach. Why do you think adaptability is so important? Anyone want to? Sometimes you do things and you find out it doesn't work, so what do you have to do? Like that. Everything we're talking about has come through the idea that if you go on to become a pre-med student, to become a master's level student, a doctor, all of these skills we've had to incorporate. So know one thing, I do have a doctorate degree, and I wish I knew this stuff more. Okay, so this is your strengths, your adaptability. Keep them in mind. Next page is the new part. Sustainability is how you manage your energy, your resources, and your strategies. So guess what? You're not burning yourself out. How many felt like I'm putting so much time in studies? I'm putting so much time in my studies, and I just don't have any more energy. Melissa, I'm seeing some nods on this, and how's it look over at the other students?
Would anyone else like to share, or does anyone agree?
I've really told them to listen to this. The reason why we want to talk about sustainability is exactly that. You want to kind of pace yourself so you don't burn out. What happens when you burn out?
You wanna quit?
You want to quit, right? You want to quit. That's why we're really focusing on sustainability. And the last one we really focused on last year was resiliency. And that's about adapting well in adversity, trauma, anything that brings you down. You're going to have to figure out how to bring yourself. Make sense? I mean, you've heard that statement. You get knocked down, but you got to pick yourself up. That's what resiliency is. All of these are all connected because what's important to you is that start figuring out how this works for you now. And you're going to think about it in the future. Okay? So, I'm going to have fun. This is resiliency. We had it last semester. I'm covering it again. It's about trauma, tragedy, threats, and even significance of stress. I have that all. So this is more important. How do you handle stress? How do you handle stress? Trisha, how would you suggest they should talk about stress? You're their friends. You know them well.
You want to be a part of this engagement and get a little bit of interactive with one another and kind of share your experiences. What are some things that you can identify that have been examples of what we're referring to, like defining resiliency? These are some that are giving you on the chart here. Tragedy, stress, you know, the levels of stress. So what are some examples you guys of how to be resilient?
I'm a returning student, so I quit college during COVID and then came back. So I would say my first semester at like 18 doing school through COVID, finals week, I was like freaking out because I basically didn't pay attention the whole semester, and the finals came out and I was stressed out to like the degree. And I also had things I was doing in the house, like doing chores and helping my family out. So that was one of those resiliency things. And I was lucky my baby brother was me. So he's like, hey, I'll do your chores for you, you upset. And I basically broke down and cried on him. He didn't want to touch me after that, but he like helped me out and like helped me do my study, so he would do my chores.
Share. Melissa, is there anyone on the other classes that might want to share?
No, if they're STEM students, they are being resilient.
Yes.
They are. Maybe they cannot identify. Can you guys identify how they,
When they graduate.
well, they're being resilient right now because they're having to challenge many of those stress levels for chemistry and calculus and so forth.
You're getting nods. Yes, dear.
I think resiliency for me was, like putting my pride aside and having to ask for help, not just from a professor, but from colleagues and other people in my class and using resources like the Mesa Center. Up until like last semester, I pretty much been able to figure it out on my own and use resources like on YouTube and stuff like that. But it gets to a point where the content is just so intense and it's so cutthroat that you need someone to kind of like tone it down for you and explain it to you in a way that you hadn't seen it before. Because especially as like a STEM student, sometimes we lose sight of what like the actual point of the content and material is. And so we just need someone to show us that same content, but from another point of view.
Right.
It's good. It's part of what we talked about last time, building your community, right? Melissa, anything from the audience?
Any of the other campuses like to share how they define resiliency in their lives? And how do you handle those different situations?
Share. We're not hearing anything, Melissa. We'll go back to that. I think this is really important, the comments that we heard here, and I'm hoping that you can hear from the other students is that you learn how to do it. And as our Professor Patricia said, the more you experience it, too, guess what? You're becoming stronger. And that's what kicks us all the time. We need to know that when we're down, we're gonna pick ourselves up. And you learn how to pick yourself up with your friends and family. Every one of us has that. Some of the stories that I've heard from other students in these classes has been losing family members. You know, incident where somebody got really hurt and had to pick themselves up. And I agree with Patricia. You are here, you already are showing resilience. Next page. Hey, it's just about the capacity to remain effective. You will fall. I hate to say that to you, but you will learn one thing. You depend on yourself, you depend on other folks, and you will pick yourselves up. You will pick yourselves up. You're already, as Patricia says, all of you here and on I don't know why. And those of you in your classes, you're picking yourselves up every day. You're taking new classes, learning new things. Sustainability is about managing your energy, how you take care of yourself for the long run. Adaptability is how you respond to change. And of course, resilience is then both their practice. Everything is all connected. Next page. Why do we want you to take care of yourselves? This came from last year's presentation. Does somebody in this classroom want to read that for me? Why do you need to do this?
Please do. Protects against poor health outcomes, helps you build new skills, helps you get through difficult, stressful circumstances, build stronger relationships, and puts you in charge of your own development.
Y'all agree? Y'all said it. No. Alyssa, any comments? Anything they could put in the chat? Yeah, other examples you would like to add?
Would like to share their why in the chat.
Yeah, that might be easier to try to put it, speak, because we're having a hard time with the speakers and the microphone.
we all have a career goal. At the end of
Let's
the
do-
day, we'll have our own like specialties and we'll get into and communities and make impact. For example, I want to make an impact in women's health, so I want to make sure women, regardless of economic status, social status, racial status, I want to make sure they feel safe coming into the women's health clinic and getting the care that they need. And I'm sure everyone here has their own unique why, and I'll really want to learn.
Thank you.
And, you know, as we all continue to grow, we can share this with our patients, our clients, their students. Everything we're talking about, and you brought it up beautifully about poor health outcomes. You're there to educate folks so they do not stay in the poor health outcomes or getting sick all the time. This is about building these skills. How many of you folks sit there and turn to somebody and go, damn, they haven't learned a new skill in 10 years. Well, exactly 10 years, but 10 years. You just sit there going, I hope I never like that. I hope I consider myself a lifelong learner. So again, these are why it's important to build the skills of resiliency, adaptability, and sustainability, okay? Preventive health behaviors. Okay, I'm telling you why, the why about this, but how do you take care of yourself? There you go.
Sorry, Sherry. A student at Laney just shared that they like to help themselves so they can help others.
Perfect. That's what it is all about, isn't it? Okay, you guys, we talked about last September. We talked about building community, positive social connections, really important. Your diet. Okay, I'm sorry I brought donuts in. But I'm leaving that with Patricia and gang. Sorry about that, Melissa. We brought donuts in here. We exercise, we take care of our bodies, do stress management, self-nurturing. And then we also talk about avoiding substances and we take care of our sleep. As you said, Melissa, some of the students are saying that they sleep better now. They're more mindful of their sleep habits. And by being more mindful, they're having more energy to do the homework and all the other things they have.
See a couple of extra examples, which are emotional support animals. I agree with that. I've got 2 little fur babies at home, which I love, and spending time outside. Also agree with that one.
Lovely, thank you. Those are very good. Those are really good. How many of you guys have fur babies? Well, this is not the cold room. Okay, we have a committee on animal lovers. Okay, definitely fur babies are super important. And there's studies now that if you have a fur baby, there's a way that you can help release your own stress.
What I've started doing is between classes, if I have breaks, I'll just go lay in the grass and miss the sun.
Oh, that's good. Such is very nurturing. Good. Melissa, thank you for helping on the other end, okay? Okay, I'm going back to what we talked about last September, and it's building community. And we talked already a lot about it earlier. Remember what building community meant? Do you remember what we talked about now? Building community? Why is building community important? I'm trying to let other people understand you guys.
I feel like it's so quiet.
Said keep healthy. Actually, mental health is important as well.
Very important.
Yeah, we can put in
Thank you for
in the
sharing
chat.
that. What school are you at?
Who?
What school are you at?
Is Robert here yet?
Yeah, we are here.
What college?
Is Robert here yet, Tina?
Oh, no, I haven't seen him yet.
We rescheduled for today. No, sure. I'll hold for him.
Yeah, actually,
Sorry, Sherry, that was West Valley that we heard from.
Oh, great. Thank you for sharing that. Mental health is super important. That's why building community is important, because you want to make sure that you're with folks that will support you. And sometimes if you're what we call a toxic environment, that can hurt your mental health. Taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, taking care of everything around you is super important. We're Patricia and I talk about this, so you can talk.
Well, I was sharing with a student that the terminology that you find in this presentation is really good to identify and learn and know how to define it, because it is you. Okay, this is something that you are, it's a part of you. The resiliency, the building community, how to take care of yourself. But remember that when you're writing a letter, a scholarship, an application, you're writing anything about interviews, these are things you can mention about yourselves. So, you know, try to keep these, the keywords that pop out for you that you can identify with. Okay, that's all I want to just
No, that's
take out there. Yeah.
Because it spurs me to think, building community, do you know what employers are saying that are most important when they hire? It's watching how folks have social networks. It's how they build their community. How do jobs come about? It's because you know someone. I mean, that's the way it goes. I know Patricia, Patricia knows somebody else, and that person knows somebody else, and soon enough, Naomi will get a job. That's the way the system has worked. And it doesn't mean you can go in and not be good for a student. You have to, of course, perform, but building community is number one. And you talked about last time at the large meeting in September, your friends, your faculty, we're here to help you. We've done what you've done, you're doing now. We know what it's like to fall, and we don't want you to fall. Melissa, any comments from the other students? I'd love to hear, we'd love to hear.
Anyone like to share ways that they build community?
I'll go on. Again, we're talking about social connections and building resilience, ways to build and maintain positive relationships, benefits of a strong support network. Most of you have already said it. And then, of course, you have social activities to enhance your connections. Always think of yourself, if you meet one person, they meet 4 people, they connect you to 4 people. It's all about growing your network, social network. Okay. So the next part is something I have not talked about, but it's also how to take care of yourself. So these are more tips to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself ready for the next semester, the next 2 years, next 3 years, next 5 years. You have to figure out ways to take care of yourself. And thank you, Patricia. Developing healthy habits. Thank you, Patricia. You really are supportive. Developing healthy habits. What's a good, healthy habit for students to have? And us. Faculty, you have to have healthy habits. What's a good one?
Very, West Valley shares that they connect with instructors and professors and volunteer their time at social events. That's student Alice. Thanks, Alice. And Lainey shares spending quality time together outside of school.
Oh, that's great. Building connections. Surrounding yourselves with folks that are going to support you and have the same mindset too. Developing healthy habits, really important. This is part of resiliency. This is about being being able to adapt. All of the above, because if you don't have those skills, if you don't have something like this in your repertoire, guess what? It's hard for you to be able to even share who you are. Okay, so we want to make sure you're nourishing your body. Somebody want to read just the stuff on the left-hand side? Just the stuff on the left-hand side. Just somebody start reading. It's okay.
Eat a balanced diet, employ healthy eating habits, incorporate resilience boosting foods and nutrients that support mental health.
Who does that?
As I brought in donuts.
Yeah. Who's that? You guys do this on the screen? I do sorta, kinda.
I do
Be
now.
honest. Not really.
Well, I think it's there's, it's a lot of energy on top of already studying, and some of us probably work and stuff. So then if we're already here and have like a lunch break in between classes, it's a lot easier to just go over to like the junction over there and get like. But and then I do.
Anybody else?
Anybody else want to comment on this?
I think a lot of times it's about convenience, and what's, quickest or easiest, rather than what's like the healthiest. Like if my mom makes something at home and I, can meal prep it or like put a little container aside for myself for the day after, then I'll take it to school or whatnot. But a lot of times the problem is that I don't eat, like I won't bring something, or I'll have breakfast and then be here the whole day and just not eat. So, options are limited and, yeah.
I think what we can't do is 100%, 24/7 do all this. This could be something you try to do. You may not be able to eat a balanced meal every day, but take care of your body. That's all I'm asking. First, nutrition, I put off your employ eating, healthy eating. I don't eat breakfast. I know that's the first thing you're supposed to do. But all of this is to start thinking about your body. How you want to take care of your body. Sage, now we're thinking about your body and mind. So we were talking about physical activity. Earlier, we were talking about feeding your body, now we're talking about how to keep your body. That's part of those things. Why is it important to have kids to be physically active?
Nobody's stressed.
Yeah, exactly. And let's just talk about exercises, get into an exercise routine, even walking will help you. Even walking, because like you were saying, maybe the sun, walking around, going up and down the stairs, walking around, take a walking buddy, walk around the campus. And it does, it reduces stress and improves your mood. Just keep moving. Remember this, because you're gonna have more homework. I think that was homework.
What I started doing is if I'm having like hours study time routines, I'll like get up every 30 minutes and I like dancing. So I'll put on like a 3-minute song, dance with it, sit back down.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So we have someone here who likes to do a dance routine. Puts the music on, dances, and then she goes back and she's replenished herself and she can do her homework. How about you guys over there at the other schools? Do you do something like that? Do you have activities like that?
Then sign up for PE classes. Anybody signed up for a PE class this semester? No? Yes.
Like run a mile.
Melissa, do you have any comments from the other students?
So all colleges have exercise activity classrooms, and they're under, it used to be called physical ed, like PE, but it's under kinesiology. And those are usually like, you can go weightlifting, it's a beautiful state-of-the-art gym. You can go weightlifting, you can take a yoga class, it's only 1 hour, some of them are half an hour, so, it depends, but if you're a STEM student, I highly recommend, signing up for yoga or, going to a gym there. It's really nice, and they do have the treadmills, the walks and stuff like that, they have the full-on gym stuff. Really cool, they even have salsa dancing, a lot of mechanical engineer students, for some reason, they loved salsa. And they loved it. I mean, they used to fill the class with salsa dancing. And I just thought it was so cool because those are the students that really, you guys all study very, very hard. You need to relieve that tension. So important.
I have a question. Can you use the machines in like the gym if you're not in a class?
You have to sign up for a class. So it's only, they have only like a unit, 1 unit.
Melissa, any comments from the other students?
Yes, student Maria from Hartnell shared that she has soccer practice.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's good. It really relaxes you because you're not thinking about classes as much. That's great. Anyone else?
Yes, Alice plays tennis and builds community with her teammates and other teams as well, and that's Alice.
I'm glad you're sharing all that. It's really hard, but I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think the other thing you said, Naomi, I'll hit up on, part of one of my classes, which I did last year, was the time management. It's okay to take breaks from your homework. It's okay to take breaks from your homework, because some of our students, and I know I've done it myself, I'll go through an hour and a half and I'll be burned out. So you figure out what you can handle, and it's okay to take a break. When I take a break now, like you were doing, I don't do the dance, but I walk around the house, I do something. Right? I walk around the campus, I'll do something. But it's okay to take breaks because you can come back feeling more refreshed. Just so you know, it's just part of how you take care of yourself.
Can I share what I do?
Go ahead.
Because some people don't think of it as part of a way to strengthen the mind and the body, but I've gotten to such a good practice of prayer meditation just before bedtime. That, to me, for my body and my mind, it just is so relaxing. Just to, meditate. It's real cool. Even that is considered a stress reducer.
That's important. How many of you put the phone down before you go to sleep, at least like half an hour? See, Patricia? The logic is you put the phone down so you can have a more peaceful sleep. So it could be like you said, Patricia, the meditation is 7 hours a day.
Well, I did a study in my class last fall, a group of 30 students. I asked, what's the latest that you all stay up? The average was between 1:30 and 3. The average. You remember that time? Average, between 1:30 and 3 in the morning.
That doesn't give you much time to replenish for the next day.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
So what do you have that I'd ask of you is before you go to sleep, put the phone down for at least half an hour. Because it does overstimulate. How many things you do? Not gonna say. I wake up in the middle of the night, I pull the phone. Yeah, well, the thing about it is it's really stimulating. It's really getting at you at all times. What you're trying to do is really to put it aside. Yeah. Just put it aside. I mean, it's stuff you're talking about is like going back to nature, going back to basics. Hold your cat, go speak to the sun. All of those are things that we don't give ourselves time to do anymore. And that's what, like you said, Patricia, we need to give ourselves some time just to reflect, just to take care of ourselves. And I know sometimes we write journals. You don't need to share any of that with anybody else, but you want to just take care of yourself. And it's super, super important to pamper yourself. Melissa, anything from the students? I really wish I was able to see them.
Yeah.
You know,
Vincent from Mission College plays soccer and other sports.
play soccer and tennis. But how many of them actually put the phone down before they go, half an hour before they go to bed? So I asked you for the next, I think I come back in 2 minutes. Try putting the phone down and then doing something else for the next half hour, 45 minutes. Try it. I didn't say you'll do well, but just try it and do what Patricia says. Reflect, read a book, do something. Do something so you're not being always bombarded with it, splashing and all. Next page is money. Examples of activities. You guys all said it. Can somebody read this one? Okay, dear, go ahead.
Physical activities, walking, jogging, yoga, dancing, or playing a sport. Social activities, meeting friends for coffee, joining a club, or participating in community events. Creative activities, painting, writing, playing a musical instrument, or crafting. Relaxation activities, reading, meditating, gardening, or listening to music.
We forgot mine, shopping. Melissa, how about the students? You talked about this, but it hits everybody, right? These are ways to take care of yourself. Right? Melissa, how do you take care of yourself?
I like to spend time outside. I like to go for walks, to get a bit of exercise, vitamin D. Yeah, spending time outside.
It's perfectly good to take some time out for yourself. I think we forget to give ourselves permission.
Any of the campuses, would you like to share some examples of activities in which you are doing something enjoyable or taking care of yourself? I've heard from some medical students that they like to get their nails done. They give themselves a manicure once a month. That's like their treat to themselves. Shakira shared, I'm sorry, Alice shared hiking. That's great.
It's great. It's just not putting away the books for a second and just try to relax. That's all we ask. Because you'll find if you walk away, you'll come back more refreshed and ready to tackle the whole country. Okay, stay substantively. Somebody want to read that? I think that right thing is really important in this. I don't see smoke. But this one says stay substance. Is somebody want to read? Anybody understand?
Negative effect of substance and boundaries are these strategies to avoid substance use, choose healthy alternatives to cope with stress.
So the last slide tells you this is the way you take care of yourself. This is not negative. Any comments? You good?
Madison and Oteti from Foothill shared that they volunteer at a food pantry and they also go for a hike.
Great. There you go. We talked about sleep. And we talked about how you should sleep and how it affects yourself. So this is just a little slides. We are 45 minutes in. Let us go into that part work that we're going to talk about. Oh, we're back. The next 3 slides talks about your core beliefs. What are you thinking about? What do you believe in yourself and those around you? Your thoughts, your feelings on behavior. All of this all connects. So if you think good thoughts about yourself, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to think about great things about yourself. But oftentimes we get stuck in the negative side. I'm not a good student. How many of you heard those statements from you? Thank you. Before you sit down and someone in the back of your memory turned to you and said to you, and it stays in your head. Well, we're going to talk about how those core beliefs influence who you are and how you function. Okay? So the next slide is, and unless if anybody has questions, feel free to interrupt. Here you go. Core beliefs. This one. Core beliefs is the center of who you are. It's what you believe in. It's about what others and the future of yourself. It's your core beliefs. Around your circle, it's about how you hold views about yourself. And often these views are started in childhood. When I say that, you hear something, you might be 5 and it hits your head and it stays with you. And that's why it's really important to talk about core beliefs. Because sometimes it carries with us when we're studying to become doctors. Sometimes it stays with us when we're trying to work on a project. It's there and you have to figure out how to deal with it. Okay. Core beliefs are shape our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Somebody want to read the 2 positive and negative ones? One positive and one up there. Does anybody wants to find out?
I can read it. Types of core beliefs. Positive, I am capable and worthy. Negative, I'm not good enough. Do you want me to read the questions to ask yourself as well?
Please do. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What do I believe about myself? How do I view others? And what are my expectations of the world?
Pretty heavy, huh? Want to break it? Can you put on Melissa?
5 minutes.
Melissa, we're gonna break into groups on our end, and students in the other schools could do this for us too. Break into smaller groups and talk about one positive statement, a belief that they've lived on, and one negative one, and how that negative one turned into a positive one. Could we have about 5-10 minutes during your schools at your colleges? And we'll do it here. Is that okay?
Should we come back together at 5:55?
Can you please put the prompt in the chat?
Yes.
So, thank you.
Yes, we can come back at 5:55. So your task is share one positive one and then share a negative one that turned into a positive one. And take your time, or at least 10 minutes, go for it. Everyone break up, Helen, breaking up here.
What time do you want to make it happen?
Five, how about you just turn around groups of three?
Or just in twos.
Choose, fine. What's a positive one? I'm capable of work. And what's negative one, and how do you present?
So then I like, eventually was like, okay, that's right. But you don't have to talk about it. So like, I think when I door the experience, but it didn't look like easier. I always do that. So I just but I try to work for it and you know what? So yeah, like, I think that even like there's like, and like, it's not, you know,
That's all right. You believe in yourself?
Yeah, that like I'll get some.
That's something. You'll get to eventually where you're meant to be, right?
Yeah, like, not right now, but I know I'll get there.
Yeah. Then anything about how you think others? Yeah. Believe other people have the capacity if they succeed. Depend on the person.
And anybody can get to where they want to. Yeah. If you try hard enough, you can get it.
I agree with that. Is there anything that you like really have a core belief in?
No, it's the whole.
Do you believe in family? Do you believe in friends? What do you think is important for you right now?
Probably a big friend. Probably more. Like that's about it. I used to love myself.
Right. Does that mean that you don't like that?
Yeah.
Can you meet more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like.
Anything? Same thing you've heard a thousand times? Something new, something different.
I feel like I've learned this like when I took psychology.
Yeah. Do you remember how you answered those?
No,
Okay. Is, what exactly about that? Why do you not get a group?
I guess start with what makes you like?
Or is that?
No, that's easier. Like, even with conversations, I say that.
Okay. Very good.
It's more easier.
Does that mean you like to listen more than anything?
Yeah.
I agree. I like listening.
You know what it's like, it's like me. No, me, like, maybe you don't want to answer.
It's something that I have struggled to learn. Sometimes people just want.
So like even like advice, I stuck on myself.
So making sure that I have it in my government.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah. That is admiring. I guess I'm thinking. Yeah. Like, their opinions.
Yeah.
Carrie, just wanted to make sure you weren't speaking because it looks like you're muted.
Wave at everybody. Where are you?
That's why,
See, that's what we're saying we don't get to see.
that's, it would be nice to leave it like this.
But then they don't get this.
Yeah, that's right. the presentation.
There's the presentation. There's a way we can have it on the side.
Well, when you ask the question, you can, toggle back and forth.
Melissa,
Do they hear?
can they hear us now? Gavin, are
Take
we
it.
on?
Presentation looks great.
We're on now? Melissa?
Yes, all is good. Thank
Oh, no problem. Thank you. And it was nice to see all the classes. We're so excited to see you all. So we talked about it here. We talked about a couple positive and negative ones that turned into positive statements. We'd like to have the students in the other colleges share. So Melissa, could you take care of that and just ask students to share from the different schools?
you. Sure, I'm just going
Yeah.
off the groups that I see on my screen. Would we be able to hear from any of the students at Hartnell College?
See, wave at everybody. See everybody. They're happy we're waving. And you're right in front of that camera.
Uh-huh.
Can we hear from the other schools? This is smart. This is good.
I'm gonna put my Laney College students on the spot. They're all pretending like they're shy, but they're not. So they're gonna come up one by one and share with you.
Yay! Yeah, ladies, because we want to share help them too. Thanks, Melissa. Positive and a negative that turns positive, that you turn into positive.
District.
I felt like I started school too late in life. But I then realized that, there's never really like a wrong time to start. And I'd rather like actually do it instead of like wonder, like, what if?
So positive core belief of mine is that you should be kind to everyone because you don't know what the other person's going through. And the negative one was that sometimes I'm not good enough, but it also pushed myself to be better and strive for greatness.
Can you all hear them?
Yes.
Mine is like a negative that rejection is the end, but really it's not. So you have to try again and you'll never know what's the outcome for you. So
Do I go? My negative was, waiting for someone to do something for you. And then a positive is, you're just as good as anyone else and you can do it for yourself.
I always thought I was gonna be a 1.7 GPA or be known as that bad student, and then I just kind of use that to shape myself into studying better and starting from scratch. Thank you, and that's BCC, Berkeley City College, and Laney Mesa students.
Thank you. Great to see you all, and thank you for sharing. Melissa, let's go to the next school. Next college.
A student at Hartnell, I'm sorry, Maria from Hartnell shared that failure means the end to failure means a new beginning.
That's a positive. That's really good. Other students want to share? Joel, I saw something from you that was on the screen.
Is that Joel Thompson?
Uh-huh.
Is that me?
Somebody from the school.
Alice, would you like to share?
Go ahead, go for it.
Okay, the mic is on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive example. When I have a huge assignments at the beginning, maybe I think it's so difficult. If I think this in the positive way, I just say I can do it to myself. Then next, I separate these huge assignments into small pieces, and I do one piece by one piece. Eventually, I can complete it. After finishing this a huge assignment, I just treat myself with a drink.
Thank you for sharing. And steps. That's good. Baby steps. We've talked about that. Thank you for sharing. Next, anybody else?
Vincent from Mission College shares that he is good at things that he enjoys.
Oh, look at that. Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you. Would any of the students from San Mateo College like to share, Shivan or Akshay?
So what I love seeing is many of you, all of you know how to take a negative and turn it into a positive, right? And you learn by doing that. And failure is true. It means you begin. It means that you're going to learn something and you're going to pick yourself up and do better. Okay? Anyone want to add anything else? Negative, we are pessimistic. Positive, we are honest. Both. Being pessimistic can always lead to being optimistic. So beautiful. Put this number, yeah, get a notebook out, put this number where you can share this to yourself at night. Instead of opening your phone, open your notebook and say, God, this is so happy. I'm good at the things I enjoy. That's really positive. Being able to say, taking the negative and turning it into a positive. Okay. Any other statements? These are great. Thank you, Melissa, for managing the tab. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love seeing everything that's comment. Can we get that on the slide, Kat? Oh, cool beans. Okay, next page. We're talking about core beliefs and now we're going to turn it into impact of thoughts. So now you know what you believe in and look at how it impacts your feelings, your behavior, your thoughts, and so forth. Next, there you go. Negative thoughts. Somebody want to read it? This side of it? This side of it? Or somebody else in their class at the college. Somebody want to read it from the year end? Negative thought.
Not good enough.
I'll read it. So you see core beliefs in the center. Now we're looking at your thoughts. I always mess things up. And what happens when you feel that? You start thinking about sadness and frustration. You're feeling that you're not worthy of it. The positive end is, if I could say something like, and we've all been saying it here and at other classrooms, I can learn from my mistakes. Let's say that together. I can learn from my mistakes because we always will have mistakes. Okay? Do not think everybody's going to be perfect. We are not perfect. And what happens when you say that and you're thinking that? You're feeling hopeful and you're feeling motivation. I can learn from my mistakes. How do you feel when I say that to you? I bet you learn from your mistake. How do you feel?
It makes me feel like it's okay to make mistakes and it's not gonna ruin your whole life. We're human and we make mistakes, so that's the only thing that makes, well, one of the things that makes us human.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent point.
I said that to a student today.
Uh-huh.
I said, you're here to, you're a learner. Even when you get to the university, you're still the learner because you're learning throughout your entire educational journey. So you're not in school because you know it all. That's not why you're in school. You're in school because you're learning. So if mistakes come with it, you're gonna learn from those things. And you'll always be a learner. Always, throughout your profession, even when you earn your degree, you'll always be the learner, period. Always.
I kind of have like something my mom and my parents always says, like closed mouths don't get fed. So it's one of those like always let, and the other one's like let other people tell you no. It's always be open to asking questions or asking for opportunities. Because if you don't say it, then there's a chance you're never gonna get it.
You don't ask, you don't say, it doesn't happen, right? I appreciate everyone saying what we're talking, we've been talking about. I can learn from my mistakes, you always know. If you don't have any conflict, you don't learn. And that's what we learn as therapists in our field. If you don't get any conflict, you're not gonna change, you're not gonna grow, you're not evolving. And one of the new terms, I was in a presentation a couple of weeks ago about how career counseling, which is my field, has changed. And they use the word reinventing the field. Because COVID has been, job labor, the labor market has been, we are always constantly looking at what's out there and reinventing. Any comments from the other students? Liz?
Yes, at West Valley, they shared that even though I might not enjoy everything and be talented at everything, each thing I do will get me closer to my goals.
And that's how things get discovered, huh? Because someone might make a mistake, and guess what? It becomes something that we all will need. Even though I may not enjoy everything, we can tell them everything is done. I don't expect you all to be Bruno Mars. Okay, and that dude was good. Did Emmy's the other night? Okay, attack of thoughts, you got it. Changing thought, negative thoughts. If you guys are thinking that, I really like Bruno Mars. It's just interesting. Changing negative thoughts to positive ones can improve emotional well-being. Yeah? Yeah? I see heads nodding. Yeah? Oh. We're gonna move to the next one. Now we only have three. Remember, we talked about thoughts, now we're talking about feelings. Some people want to touch the feeling one about anxiety. Can I get you to read it? Let me see, feeling impact of things on behavior. If we want to talk about what that means.
So it's like procrastinating or like doing homework because you get overwhelmed thinking about how much you have to do. You're still gonna have to do it. It's just you have less time. If you had adequate confidence and you did it already, then it's less of you're less anxious. You're like, oh, I did it already. I'm good. I know this stuff. Or it's just I procrastinated because the last minute, and now I have less time to get all this studying, and I feel more anxious.
Gavin, could you put us into the classrooms? Okay. Comments from everybody. Oh, they're giggling over there. What's this mean? Okay. Oh my God. Okay, going back to what we're saying, they were talking about a presentation. How many of you feel that way? If I don't do the homework, I get anxious. When I don't do the homework, I get more anxious. And then it's midnight and I have to turn in homework at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's pretty much what you said, right? How many of you do that? Practice. How do you do tomorrow and it's still a great beach? But people over there, how many of you do that? It happens. And I used to do that. I put it off. And I realized I was putting more energy in putting it off than actually doing it. Does that make sense? I'm more worried about what I'm going to put down than putting something down. See, I'm seeing nods. This is great. I can see everyone's heads. Yeah, that's what happens. So one of the classes I taught last year was around time management. It's also about how it's a skill. How do you take care of yourself and how do you manage your time so you're not putting things off and at the end of the day, you have to do 500 other things that you have to get done. So that's part of your time management, figuring out how to take care of what you have to get done. Any comments from the other schools? Any comments? Plus, I like this. Any comments? Thanks, Lady College, for speaking last time. Any comments you want to share on this one? Any last comments? We have a few more minutes, so we'll finish up sooner than that. Feelings on behavior, again, we do contribute. How should it go out? I do that in daily life, and you don't realize it's so you're really stressed out. So keep in mind, the sooner you get something done, you will not need to be putting it off, and you'll be less procrastinating on it, and you just get it done. Next page. This is gonna take a little while to talk about, but I think I want to just start, because we have a few more minutes, and I just want to start talking about it. This is what we call thinking traps. And what it means is that there are things that happen to us, and we start thinking about something, and it changes how we live the world. And I'm gonna go through each one a little more thorough, but it's the all or nothing, it's the overgeneralization, the mental filtering, discounting the positive. All of these are some things we're going to see on the next page. The next page. And these are thinking traps. This is where we are sometimes every day of our lives. Something happens to us. So this is what happens. I'll read the first one, and then I'll have somebody from either school pitch in and talk about this. And we'll use it again next time we meet. All or nothing thinking is when you see things in absolute black and white categories, which is always, never, or every. So we talked about that earlier. One of the comments, if I'm not a total success, I don't get that A, I'm a failure. If I don't finish that paper, I'm a failure. That's a thinking trap. That becomes black or white. It's not true for you. Wants to read the next one here or in the classroom, or in the classrooms. I love Patricia, this passion for you. Tell you. Go for it. Overgeneralization. What happens when you, that's a thinking trap. What happens?
What happens when you overgeneralize?
Answer right there.
There's
Right. Of course, when
occurs when you make broad interpretations from a single or few events.
can you read the exams?
That there's so many silences during my interview, and I'm always so awkward.
How many of you have gone through interviews and like, you're not talking? I'm not looking at anything. You're not talking. I must be doing that. Dang, I'm not gonna get this job. I'm good at thinking that way, Patricia. Okay, I'm always so awkward. Thank you for reading it for me. Overgeneralization. And it happens. You don't like them. He looks at me funny. That must be not right. Something. What's to do to mental filter?
I got it.
You got it. Go for it, Gabby.
Occurs when you dwell on the negatives and ignore the positives. An example is because I got one low rating on my evaluation, which also continued. So with high ratings, it means I'm doing a lousy job.
That C percolates up and all your A's disappear. Pretty much that's what it means. Right? Do you see that? Do you hear that? That C is like 15 font and all those A's are like one font. Black highlighted, you know, all that. What happens when you get stuck on this? It keeps driving you. And it keeps pushing you. And you're not giving yourself the full credit you deserve because you are doing well. Alyssa, any comments? Do any of the students want to read one for us? Does any of the students?
Anyone like to volunteer to read?
Somebody want to read things? Catherine?
I'll read discounting the positive.
Mm-hmm.
It occurs when you insist that your accomplishments or positive qualities don't count.
Ooh. Go for the exam.
Like when you accomplish something others praise you and say, wow, this is a great job. That was a wonderful presentation. And your thoughts are, hey, it was just nice. Or you say, oh, I did okay.
And they didn't really like me. They didn't care. I mean, doesn't count. I did all that work. It didn't count. Do you do that to yourselves? You do it? I'm so glad I we all do all this, but we're trying to help you understand and identify what these issues are. Okay? It happens. They were just being nice. You know, all of them were silent, but they were just being nice. That means they'll not hire me, but they were just being nice. Okay, mind reading. Oh, that's a good one. Mind reading. Anybody? Go first.
The person knows some people are reacting negatively to you, and there is no definitive evidence. For example, she would never go on a date with me. She must think I'm ugly.
Yeah. Oh, you're laughing, Jasper?
I have a very, for me, it feels like when you ask what you think is a dumb question in class,
Yeah.
nobody says anything, like, oh, that's such a dumb question, why would I ask that?
Yeah, that happens. I'm sure it does. How does it make you feel?
Like, it doesn't feel right.
I think sometimes professors, I've had them in my lifetime, where they're like, no, what did you just say? Yes, it happens to me too. We have one more slide after this, and then I'm going to call it a day. I come back in April. Let's go through the next slide, and then we can just recap. And I have it. Hey, Gabby, can I get back on the slide? Thank you. Leave this through and then we can close the shop. Okay. Fortune telling, who wants to talk about that? You start thinking it's not going to work out. I'm going to fail. I'm just not going to make it today. I just know I'm going to fail. That's fortune telling. You're kind of predicting something so that that's negative. We talked about the C's and the A's. I'll go on this side. Getting a mediocre evaluation proves how inadequate I am. So you again blows things out of proportion. Are you shrinking? Remember how we said that C becomes bigger than anything else? Somebody want to read emotional reason? Come on. It occurs when you reason how you feel. I fall in love, so I really must be. I feel it, therefore it is. That doesn't mean somebody doesn't love you. You're feeling it and you're making it truly love you. How much should statements? Let me finish this. I'll get us through. Should statements occur when you have a fixed, precise idea of how you or others should behave and you overestimate how bad it is if these expectations are not met. Example is, and if you guys can think of one in school, in your classes, it's terrible that I made a mistake. I should always do my best. Does that go back to those beliefs in your head? You should be the best you can be. We're talking about how these statements can really hurt you. What we're trying to do is figure out ways that can make it less and how you can change it in your head. You don't get hurt. Labeling occurs when you identify with your shortcomings. I can't believe I made a mistake at work. I'm such a fool. You know what I'm noticing? The guys are saying, sitting there in this room, and I'm sure in the other classes, these statements are really coming home to me. I really think this sometimes. This is what happens to me when I'm in class. This is what is happening now and now. Because that's how they call it. That's what they're calling patron traps. They're there, they don't exist, but they live in your head and you think it's true. So if you catch yourself saying any of this stuff, know that it's not, it's how you want to change how you look at yourself. The last one, when you blame yourself for something that isn't entirely in your control. How about this one? My mom is always so upset. She would be fine if I wasn't such a screw up. Heard that many times. Have you heard that? My teacher said she said, my teacher's mad. She just thinks I can't do a class. I shouldn't be, I shouldn't be in this class. Have you heard that one? So, Darren, get us out of this and let's get to see the other students back in the classroom. We'll cover this next time. My last class is in April. Let's check in with everybody and we can head out, okay? Melissa, thank you for moderating our presentation. We want to end, but before we end, has this conversation helped you think about it? Has this been something that you probably not thought about in your life, but hey, I think that like that? Think about it. Self-reflection. It's self-reflection, yeah. It's actually recognizing that you're not alone when you have these thoughts. And if you think you're the only one doing it, then you make it like, it's really me. And 10 other people in this room have the same thought. That's what it's how the condition we're trying to change. When you start going to college, when you're starting your med program, you're going into the doctor program, you're shifting a lot of how you think. Okay. Melissa, thank you so much. Any comments from the group? We will be coming back to this. I have quite a few more slides, but I think we can leave today early. Can they hear you? Can they hear you? I hope so. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks so much for presenting, Sherry. I can hear you, Patricia. So nice to hear from you too. And thank you to all the campuses for joining today and for your participation. Does anyone have questions or lessons they'd like to share with the group?
So keep these thoughts in mind. If I could, I would send those at least the 2 pages and the core week statements. I want that sent out to you guys so you can look at it so we can come back and talk about it next go around, okay? The early class, thank you all. Think about it. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you all. It was a pleasure. Next time I see you will be after the spring break. Take care of yourselves. We need this spring break. Take care of yourselves. I have a time with you. Think about your community. Think about your connections because we're all connected.
Before anybody leaves, if you have missed any sessions, come back to me, please. Thank you.
Emily,
Thank you, Thank you.